Gerald Cotton was 30 years old, newly married and on his honeymoon in India. He was also the only person on Earth who knew the passwords to $250 million of other people's Bitcoin. Then he died. 115,000 customers of his exchange, Quadriga X, found their accounts frozen. The cold wallets were locked. The laptop was encrypted. The passwords existed only in one man's head, and that man was gone. That's not a movie plot. It happened in December 2018. 115,000 people lost their savings. Somewhere in India, a 30-year-old took the most important passwords in the world to his grave. The Quadriga story had fraud, for sure. Cotton was running a Ponzi scheme. But underneath the crime is a real problem that affects completely honest Bitcoin holders every day. When you own Bitcoin, you don't own a bank account. You own a private key, a string of characters that proves you control a wallet. That key isn't just access to the money. That key is the money. Without it, the Bitcoin sits on the blockchain forever, visible to everyone, accessible to no one. There's no customer support number, no forgot my password button. If the key is gone, the Bitcoin is gone. Permanently. Up to 18% of all Bitcoin that will ever exist is already estimated to be lost forever. Consider James Howells, a Welsh IT engineer. In 2013, he threw away a hard drive. On it, the key to 8,000 Bitcoin. Today, that's worth over $700 million. For a decade, he's been trying to get permission to excavate a landfill. The council keeps saying no. Or Stefan Thomas, a software engineer in San Francisco. He has 2 guesses left to unlock a hard drive holding over $500 million in Bitcoin. After 10 wrong tries, the drive self-destructs. He's already used 8. These guys are still alive. They can feel the pain of what they've lost. Now imagine the families of the people who aren't. This is all by design. Bitcoin was built to eliminate the middleman, the bank that holds your money on your behalf. Its entire value rests on the idea that you, and only you, control your wealth. No one can freeze it. No government can seize it. This power is demanding. The flip side of no one can take it from you is no one can help you get it back. To make it easier, wallets give you a seed phrase. 12 or 24 random words, like River Umbrella Falcon Trust. That phrase is a backup for your private key. Lose those words, or die without telling anyone where they are, and the money is gone. You are the bank. You are the security system. You are the inheritance plan. If you fail at any of those jobs, the system doesn't forgive you. The problem is, most people aren't planning. And here's the trap nobody talks about. Do not put your seed phrase in your will. Wills go through probate, a public legal process. The document becomes public record. Anyone who finds it can drain your wallet long before your family ever sees a dollar. A bank account number in a will is fine. A seed phrase is a skeleton key. So the most important question for any Bitcoin holder isn't, will my Bitcoin go up? It's, does anyone know how to access this if something happens to me? Because right now, Bitcoin is disappearing from circulation faster than it's being created. A significant portion of that is people who died and took their keys with them. In a dark, unintentional way, every holder who dies without a plan makes a gift to the rest of the network, making every remaining coin a little more scarce. The only question is whether you want to make that gift on purpose. Bitcoin is designed so that no one can take it from you, which also means no one can help your family get it back. The private key is everything. The seed phrase is the backup. If both disappear when you die, the Bitcoin disappears too. The Bitcoin community has built practical solutions, but most holders have never heard of them because no one talks about boring, important stuff during a price rally. Let's fix that. Start with the physical foundation. A hardware wallet is a small device that stores your private key completely offline, safe from hackers. When you set one up, you generate a seed phrase, those 12 or 24 words that act as the master key. Now, here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They write the seed phrase on paper and stuff it in a drawer. Paper burns in a fire. It dissolves in a flood. It fades over decades. If you're serious about protecting generational wealth, write your seed phrase on metal. Steel and titanium plates designed for this cost around $100 and will survive a house fire. Once it's on metal, it needs to be somewhere your family can find it, but a burglar can't. A fireproof safe, a bank deposit box. The key is to document a map for your loved ones, not the treasure itself, just the map. Now let's go deeper. Standard Bitcoin self-custody has one key, one point of failure, multi-signature wallets or multi-sig. Change the architecture completely. Instead of one key, you set up a system where multiple keys are required, typically 2 out of 3. Think of a bank vault that needs 2 different managers with 2 different keys to open. Neither one can do anything alone. Together, they can do everything. For inheritance, you might hold one key, your estate attorney a second, and a trusted family member a third. If you die, the other 2 can work together to access the funds. No single person can steal the Bitcoin, and no single point of failure can lock your family out. Companies like Casa and Unchained Capital have built their entire businesses on making multi-sig practical. The tech only works inside the right legal structure. First, you need a will that acknowledges your digital assets. Never ever put the seed phrase in a will. Just a clear statement that cryptocurrency exists, who inherits it, and where to find the instructions. Your executor needs to know to look. Second, consider a trust. A trust bypasses the public legal process of probate. That means your access instructions stay private and your heirs get the assets faster. Within that trust, name a digital asset trustee, someone who actually understands Bitcoin and knows how to handle a hardware wallet. Here's the bigger picture. Bitcoin was designed without a safety net on purpose. It offers absolute sovereignty over your wealth, and with that comes absolute responsibility. No central authority, no bailout. The system trusts you completely. The price for this power is that you have to make a plan and actually execute it. The people who understand this thrive. The people who don't or who procrastinate are quietly making an involuntary donation to everyone else on the network. Every Bitcoin lost tightens supply, making every remaining coin slightly more valuable. The math rewards the prepared and silently penalizes the careless. This isn't a scare story. It's a practical one. The ability to hold an asset that no government can print more of, no institution can freeze, and no border can block is genuinely historic. But none of that matters if your family can't access what you leave behind. Write down the seed phrase. Store it on metal. Set up a multi-sig wallet if your holdings justify it. Talk to an estate attorney who understands digital assets. Create a simple document that tells your family exactly what you own and how to find the recovery information. The blockchain will remember your Bitcoin forever. It will sit there, perfectly intact, on a public ledger for the rest of the time. Make sure the people you love know how to reach it. And that's the breakdown. If you learned something new, leave a like and subscribe. But more importantly, drop a comment with what we should break down next, since these videos are driven by your requests. And until next time, stay curious and keep learning.